But it doesn't actually matter how they're going to work it out. They're still going to change the radius all the time. I just have to put it out.
Video. A little
Oh, there you go.
commentary where he's discussing the radius of the Earth. He's about to talk about the black swan that everybody knows about in this argument. And it's quite interesting what he says.
You see it on the beach. 6 feet. Now, the reason that I thought about this was that many of us in the debunking community have had a look at flat Earth videos that claim they quote-unquote see too far, therefore the Earth is flat. What?
There are literally hundreds of videos where we see too far according to their radius.
Oh, let's have a look at that claim. Now, when we see too far, is that truly a proof of the Earth being flat? No, it's not.
Remember what he just said. Just because we see further doesn't mean the Earth is flat. But there's a little but to this.
Means that we have a different radius.
Did he just say that?
Yeah.
It means we have a different radius. Wonder what the implications of a different
Does that
radius
see too far? I had to quickly click to the...
Yeah, we see too far. And I just says, it doesn't mean it's the Earth is flat, it just means we have a different radius. As Gary's trying to point out, there's quite a few different implications because you have a different radius. Just like we pointed out tonight, with they have to change their radius to match reality. Wow.
Because even without using
You
the
see
known
how-
radius of
What
Sorry?
you've got on screen behind him
Yeah.
is exactly the same triangles that I drew.
Yeah.
If you like.
Yeah, so
And
that's
this is
true.
what I say, they hold to their definitive statements. These are their statements, not mine. I don't live on them.
Nope. Yeah, we just taking their claim and their math and showing them how it contradicts reality.
Or as we've shown tonight, how perverted they have to make their ball to fit with reality.
Yeah,
What they have to contrive. Yeah.
we can actually say their math is an abomination to the narrative. Because it literally goes against their own globe.
the Earth, simply by knowing the distance to the object and how much of that object we can see from the beach, we can calculate what the radius of the Earth is. Because one of the things Flat Earth loves to do is they don't observe things from mountains. They observe things from a foot off the surface of the water. And they do that to take maximum advantage of refraction. But
It's no refraction. It's just a bunch of crap that the Globies had to make up to try to explain away why we see too far.
Mm-hmm.
They say that things beyond the curve are refracted upwards. It's just total hogwash.
Exactly, Gary.
And I think Bob even knows. I don't know how he says this with a straight face, but let's go on.
does that prove that the Earth is flat?
Yeah. Just catching up slowly, but
Yeah, Gary, that's exactly that's why they ignore the limited angle. That's the whole reason, because the angle becomes too acute. That's why you see it more pronounced the lower you are. It's not because they are so-called refraction that they're evoking. That's not actual refraction. Yeah, it's just them trying to ignore it.
Or does that just change the radius? Let's have a look at a classic example.
That's a big problem for your model if it changes the radius.
Well, have we ever seen this picture before? Let's have a look at something here. First of all, the observer height. 1 foot. making a real big deal out of that. However, they also give the distance to platform habitat at 9.41 miles, so we have D. Now the question is, what's the lowest point on this oil rig that we can see? Obviously, there's tremendous distortion due to refraction, but let's look down at the bottom.
The distortion is just because of atmospheric effects, not refraction.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
Bottom here. Here's the bottom of.
Yes, Gary. That's also one thing these guys don't get. The atmospheric effects, this distortion, is not actually refraction as you put it all, because they wanted to literally bend things in different precision. This distortions doesn't literally pull the horizon behind and block it or whatever and pull it back from behind the horizon. This is just distortion. It's like when you take, I don't know if anybody's looked at a car's roof in the heat with the, I think Adam, you also seen this with your car. If it sits in the driveway and the sun has baked it and it's got that heat coming off the top of the roof or the bonnet or whatever, and you see those little almost looks like a kind of a steam wave. That's all it's doing. It's not lifting anything up. It's just distorting the image. It's as easy as that.
It makes it wobbly.
Yeah.
That's refraction.
Exactly.
What you've seen with those wobbly towers is that exact refractive effect.
Yeah.
What they're claiming is this. And remember what's probably coming out of this oil rig. Because not all the towers are as wobbly as each other. Maybe there's a heat vent off one of these things that's causing this extreme distortion here of the straight tower.
Yeah.
But look what it's done to the tower on the extreme left is bend it and warp it. What it's not done is level it out to a straight perspective view, which is what you've got with the horizon. So, you might want to claim that that's the same thing, but that is the difference. One's refraction and caused here by thermal currents, I'm assuming, and the other is exactly what I'm saying they're claiming. They're claiming that isn't perspective view, that's the effects of whatever we worked it out over R to be. It's not 7 over 6 R, it's extreme. To give an R value of 250,000 miles. It's that over R terrestrial refraction that they're claiming is rendering this image.
Yeah, exactly. It's actually just straight out, like I said, either denial or ignorance from their part.
The rig.
Wishful thinking.
These are cross members. And then there looks like there's a solid object right down here by the horizon.
That
Let's go see.
We kind of it's been mulling over our heads, just these numbers, because we've only just gone through it.
Yeah.
I'm just pulled out of work tonight. But that demonstration that Brian's done with the circles, I think that exemplifies the point for everybody to understand what they're doing. Mm-hmm. It is a ball still, yeah, that's right, but look at it. Look at what they're claiming reality now is. Now, I appreciate that mathematically they're keeping it the same size ball, but the grotesque perversion of the size of the ball is what they're claiming is the grotesque perversion of how straight light travels.
Yeah. I mean, I wonder if you can work that out, how much percent the light would actually bend based on if it was refracted. It would be it wouldn't work, because the incident angle it would take would be so great you wouldn't be able to actually get it to curve the way they say.
But it wouldn't in any way be commensurate with the presupposed density gradient of their atmosphere, would it? When you go to the Black Swan, you see, you can't match the claim up at all. You can't pervert the numbers, hence the size of the ball, you see.
Yeah.
You cannot do it. It's just not... The excuse to grow the R value is based as what you were talking about with regards to Snell's law earlier. Yeah. So the reason you can grow the R is because of the Snell's law and the presupposition that light will obey that as it goes through the density gradient of the atmosphere, which is not demonstrated and denied by Andrew Thomas Young.
Yeah.
So that's the undoing of it all for me.
Yeah, to me, it's a straightforward, closed argument. I mean, if you have to take this and you have to see, let's take the evidence, and you take what is shown now based on their math, and that it's not refraction, although they're claiming refraction. If you have to take it to a normal person, they're just going to take it as a short case. They're going to tell you, listen, only the one party is actually bringing evidence. The other part is showing that they are trying to change the evidence to suit their narrative. So who's going to show us dishonest?
We can identify any of the...
Well, they have to change the behaviour of light, hence the term infinite refraction, 7/6. They have to change the behaviour of light to suit the narrative, don't they?
Yeah.
That's what they are bending light.
Called solid object. Looks pretty much similar to the base of the other one that's closer. Now he's going to say there's 20 feet missing here. In just a second. But obviously, you can see the horizon extends far beyond that. The platform in the distance, the one on the left. That's just the distance, that 9.41 miles is just the distance to the platform. But all it is compression. It's not missing anything. And you know that because you can see the horizon beyond it. It's just compressed. The whole platform is compressed compared to the one on the right because it's much further. It's over 3 miles further.
Parts. So, here is platform habitat. Here is the bottom of the rig. Here are these areas where these crossbars are, and you can see those here. And then down here you can see a boat launch, but I don't see it anywhere here. I don't see this pipeline coming out. That seems to be below what I'm looking at. The only thing, the lowest object that I can clearly identify looks like it's going to be the bottom of this cross-hatched area where these cross members are.
Actually, he's talking false there, because this crosshair is there. And you can see here clearly, you see this. This is usually caused by the erosion of the water, the rust. Because remember, there's swells and tides. So the water line can sit there. That's what can be sitting there as well. So it's the physical water there being because of the bulge or the tides taken at that time of day. Did he ever think of that? Man, really.
I don't see anything down here. Now, another thing that I see is there's a watermark right there. There are watermarks here. This is all rusted. There are watermarks here.
Snow, Dingling Bob is going to tell you should see watermarks on those supports on the one on the left here. That's ridiculous.
What?
That just is. You're never going to identify a watermark. What a joke.
There are watermarks out in this area. So that looks like it's the high water mark. This is obviously low tide. Let's go ahead and have a look at the permit documents for platform habitat. Now, this is rather interesting. Here is the water. Up to that boat landing, it's 15 feet above the water. And up to this area, it's looking like it's approximately 40 feet in elevation. The platform itself is 17 feet above that. So let's go back to this other photo right here. So
Yeah.
it says that this is 40 feet above the water.
I still don't see how he's trying to get that to equate that. I mean, you can clearly see where you see these bulges here. You can see it there. You can see that shape. You can see the water is literally around about that area there. That's where it is, because you can see those shapes. And also, if you have to take into account which part of the rig did they take this photo from. Could be from the back, could be from the sides. Yeah, he's actually knows the reason, and he's trying to make a story up to make an argument. You can literally see that he's trying really hard to make an argument.
Now we can calculate that out because the standard door is about 80 inches. Now it says that this thickness right here is 17 feet. And then it says from there.
You're not even going to identify a door at that distance.
Nope.
Everything is compressed.
There, it's down. Looks
Do you think he even took the angular size into account, Gary? I don't think so.
like another 27 feet to the water level. We probably have about 20 feet of this platform missing. Let's be generous with that. It could.
There's nothing missing. The horizon is further up in the frame, in the distance, easily seen on this picture. There's nothing missing. It's all compressed. When everything's compressed, it causes a Rayleigh criterion effects when you pass the limit of the Rayleigh criterion,
Exactly, Gary.
where all kinds of detail is unresolvable.
Flatzoid.
Be a little bit more.
Yeah.
I'm struggling to keep up because I'm having to listen on YouTube.
Oh, yeah, sorry.
I'm at the point of trying to pretend that we have a second horizon in front of the platform that's creating an obstruction. Because that's what his claim has to be. That's fundamentally what he's trying to suggest here. You have now two horizons.
Yeah.
That's the reason for the obstruction. He's talking about pixels. Look at the compression. Look at the. I'm not seeing this image on the right before, but if you look at the proportionality of the watermark stuff, and good point by the way, and then look at that size from the watermark pot with the big pipe running across up to the actual start of the platform deck. Look at the proportionality of that to the proportionality of the image.
Yeah.
What you see there is compression.
Exactly.
Exactly that. But like I say, fundamentally, what he's now trying to claim is two horizons.
Actually, yeah. He is. He's claiming two physical horizons. But he's trying to still take your eyes away from the horizon at the back, though. He just wants to try and put your field into, look, this has to be blocking, so this is actually where the horizon is. He doesn't want you to think about the horizon beyond it.
Well, that's happy, and maybe tacitly I'd accept to ignore the back horizon just for a minute and have him demonstrate how that obstruction at 9.6 miles is now his second horizon. Still a black swan, son, by a very long way.
He's actually debunking his own claims with this whole video.
Looks it, doesn't it?
But that's how they usually roll, though.
Cool.
So I can carry on, or?
Yeah, go on, I'll get back to it and then
Okay, sure.
Excuse the lag when you come back.
No, sure.
Or the curve calculator says it ought to be about 45 feet But as I said, we've got a tremendous amount of distortion here. And I'm saying that we're missing about 20 feet of this platform. So let's go ahead and see what we have. Okay, so the distance is going to be 9.41 miles, which is what's listed on the Flat Earth video, equals 49,685 feet, roughly. Okay? The height that we're missing is 20 feet.
Yeah.
Once again, there's no height missing. It's compressed. You can see the horizon further up the frame of the picture and further out.
Yeah, you see, that's what I'm saying. He took that and he's ignoring all the compression and ignoring where that line is. He's just trying to make an argument from nothing. Hey, Moomin Rider, good to see you.
That's deep. So let's go ahead and plug it in, see what the radius of the Earth is. So,
This is about to be hilarious, and he seems perfectly okay with it.
49,685.
Remember, this is his best case scenario, and he's taking and adding the 20 feet into that, his calculations, which isn't missing, it's just compressed.
Yep.
But let's just give...
But also, I mean, he's taking the height. I mean, BLM64 said what his height was. It was definitely not 20 feet. But yeah, we'll just ignore that and take this for what he's saying here.
it to him. Doesn't matter. He's still screwed.
Squared minus 20 squared over 40. That will be our radius of the Earth. So let's go ahead and see what we have. Well, there we go. That gives us a radius of the Earth, and it's obviously really high because of all the distortion.
Wow, guys. Is that very close to your normal radius? I think not. And you can see he's now trying to think in his head, how's he going to account for this radius change?
But it's only 11,688.4 miles.
Which would give you...
That's about 3 times the actual radius of the Earth.
1,000 miles.
And it's about 1/3 the radius of Jupiter, which is over 45.
Why is he even bringing Jupiter up in this?
Oh,
I just gave you a radius that will give you the equivalent
See?
of almost...
Wow.
yeah.
Wow. You see what he's had to do? So he's still used. You see the formula he's got up there and that little meme I had on screen earlier?
Yeah.
It's the same thing. I've just converted for feet and stuff, so you could convert the units within the derivation. But it's the same. That's the same starting point. What does he have to do to bring it down? This is a funny thing. What does he have to do to bring his R value down from 250,000 miles? And this is the nuances, though. He's not had to do a lot, but this is the implications of living on the ball of R value 3959. Yeah, these are the implications. What he's had to do is go up to 20 feet to get a figure that is more than triple his value, his actual claimed value. Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's all he's doing there is mathematical wizardry, and he still had to show a level of embarrassment to hide what? To hide that H equals 20, you dirty git.
But you can see in his face how he's actually stressing, trying to figure out how's he going to explain this away. And that's why he brings up Jupiter to obfuscate, so that people think, oh no, if you look at that scale, then no, it's not such a big scale, but that's got nothing to do with what they just showed. It's actually, it's funny.
That's a good example. They're held. Look at him. He must have practiced that. He surely wouldn't have done that alive. Be left with that. Look at that little puddle on the screen. Look at that face. You could do his little cheeks, a little tug, couldn't you, poor little chap?
He's worried.
Yeah.
He knows.
Wow.
You can see it in his facial expression. He knows he's debunked himself, but he has to try and fix it, so he has to try and figure out some way to explain it away. It's funny.
Imagine, right, if it was, I'm just looking on screen, what's he got? Imagine if it was 49,000 minus 1. Look, he's had to put 20 to make it 20 squared. It's not 20. It's 1. 1 squared's 1 power. Cheat.
But it doesn't actually matter how they're going to work it out. They're still going to change the radius all the time. When they do this,
look, that's a really big cheat already, isn't it?
Yeah.
2H. What's his numerator there? Look, 2H. He's got 40. What would ours be? 2.
Yeah.
So we can already make 11, 20 times bigger, can't we?
We can, yeah, because he's more than doubled it.
Do you get me?
Yeah.
It's just a coil flim flam by bad mathematicians.
But will you see the ballers actually calling out on this? No, they're just gonna say no, he's right. That is funny. But I mean, also, the actual height is not 20 feet. BML gave his actual height. So he's actually being very dishonest there as well. Okay, let's carry on.
7,000 miles at the equator.
5,000 miles. So, what did they prove with their black swan? The only thing that they can actually claim is that they demonstrated there's a possibility that the Earth is a sphere about 3 times larger.
The only thing that he claimed he can't show otherwise if he included his 20 feet of missing, so-called missing platform. It would have been even worse if he had to put that in there. But go on, Bob.
Than we think it is. Now, Quantum Eraser and the others have put out claims that this means that there's a radius of 250,000 miles. Well, we just calculated it. It's less than 12,000 miles.
Huh. I'm sure Adam's going to want to say something about this. Wow. We just calculated, but you did the wrong math. He was being dishonest, yeah. That's why it's different.
I'm not listening. Just tell me what he just said. He
said Quantum Eraser and the whole guys are saying, are claiming that then it's be based on the rate it's going to be 250,000 miles. You know, like the math we showed tonight. But he says based on this that he's showing, it's much less than that.
I want you to just do a little bit of maths for me then, right? So on screen, he's got this, I say, divide by 40, look, and the 40 is derived by 2h, where h is derived by 20. So therefore 2 times 20 is 40.
40, yeah.
40 feet of the observer height. We know it's not 40. We know it's 1 foot. 1 foot times 2 is 2.
Yep,
so
2.
It's 20 times more. So we're dividing by 20 times more. So if we, instead of taking the R as 11,000, if we divide it by 20, that'll be the correct number, won't it? Do you think that number will be nearer to 11,000 or nearer to the 250,000 mile that we approximate to? Just do 11,000 times 20.
Okay, I'm gonna show you on screen. I'm actually gonna take the calculator. Where is it? Okay. $11.688 times 20. 23376.
So that's nearer to the 250,000, only 16,000 away. The black swans.
Uh-huh.
And this is the point. This is all their maps, as I said earlier. They've not been able to lie about the maps. What they've had to do is lie about their input numbers now to try and make their claim reasonable. What a disgrace.
Yeah, it's dishonesty beyond. Wow. Thank you, Gary, for bringing this up. Really good video. But I want to know, how would he actually defend this? Because he's literally put this in black and white on the blackboard, and it's showing that he's being dishonest, and he's still defending it. Thanks, Face Reality, for a $5 super chat. Oh my gee, I just realized Bob looks like my stepdad from 2 decades ago. No lie. And I'm like, don't ask. Really? Yeah. Okay, let's finish the last bit of the video. Oi.
It's big, but it's still a sphere. So,
It's big, but it's still a sphere. That's hilarious. So, there are so many implications of a circumference of 37,000 miles at the equator that just blows their globe model, their current model, out of the water. It's dead.
this is Bob the Science Guy signing out from Northern Michigan.
He should change his name to Bob the Pseudoscience Guy.
Yeah, he's actually pseudoscience guy, yeah.
Thank you very much for stopping by, and I hope that this method comes in useful, because you can use it in all sorts of these low-angle observations that they make where they claim that they see too far. Stay well, folks.
There's nothing wrong with a low-angle observation. Well, thanks to Bob, we now see that there's a complete possibility that there is indeed a much larger Earth. He's going to say it doesn't matter, it's still round. But it does matter. And it doesn't make it round, it doesn't make it flat. That's true. But at the same time, if it's round and it's got a circumference that's far bigger, he's got a problem. Thanks, Bob.
Thank you, Bob. Thank you, Gary, for bringing that up. Oh, wow. Insane. I can't believe...
The bit
Yeah?
the bit that struck me there was, I always like to listen to when people watch his face, and there's a point where he lies. Well, you think he's lying, but he's not. He's able to keep his face correct. It is a ball, but it's a bigger ball, and tonight's demonstrated how they can say that in all truth and honesty. Yeah. But that is fundamentally their claim, if they're going to be honest with you, and as you've just shown even with the numbers, they're not honest. When they make that statement, they can say that in honesty, because that's what they're doing in the maps.
Yeah.
It is a ball, but it's a bigger ball, and we've shown how much bigger a ball it is.
Yeah. Another super chat, PJ Cruikshank, thank you, £5. It's big, but it's still a sphere. Aha, there's no words for how hilarious that is. Exactly. Yeah, it's delusional to the max. I think this is so telling that they don't actually have any honesty. They have to lie to themselves, and therefore they're lying to their audiences just so they can keep their religion alive. It's as simple as that.